What's up? What's up? Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Today I wanted to talk about Marvel Avengers Beta from the PC performance side and some of my experiences so far. I got to stream for about 2 hours, almost 2 hours, and we talked a lot in the chat about PC performance and all that stuff. So first of all, let's start out with the PC requirements that have been recommended. System requirements for this is Windows 10 processor for the minimum i3-4160 or an AMD equivalent, 8 gigs of RAM, GTX 950 or an AMD 270 with the minimum 2 gigs video RAM space. Now, storage is 75 gigs for the main game. The beta right now is about 25 gigs. If you pre-ordered, you can download extra textures according to somebody in my chat. I only got a beta code so far, and I think I'm probably eventually going to pre-order. But, you know, I haven't done that yet, so I can't download the extra textures, and I don't really think I need them just yet. I'm still trying to, you know, discuss this optimization with you guys, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What has worked for you? Recommended specs: Windows 10, 64-bit, i7-4770K. This computer that I'm using is a 4790, or you have an AMD equivalent with about 3.2 gigs of gigahertz of RAM, for its frequency, 16 gigs RAM, and the GTX 1060, the 6 gigs version, or an RX 480, the 8 gigs version. Okay, so pay attention to these, to these different configuration settings as well, in order for you to be able to, figure out pretty much what your computer is ranging. This is an i7 4790, and I have a GTX 1070, and I have 16 gigs of RAM on this computer as well. So if you wanted to verify that, let's go ahead and verify that here. 16 gigs of RAM, i7 4790, and then in game it will tell you my graphics settings if you want to, go ahead and see that to confirm for yourself. I think display shows it here, GTX 1070 as well. Now, one really interesting is, depending on your GPU, the graphics settings will vary. I had somebody in my comments during my stream telling me that they have a GTX 1050 and it's not running the game well with an i5, and that should run the game well. So the developers are probably going to be notified about this, and they're going to have to take note. So what I'm using is I'm using high settings. The reason it's custom is because motion blur is off, and that's why you have custom settings. But if you're having problems, I would say, hit your ambient occlusion and turn that off, or turn that lower than the settings that you have. Maybe if you're using the max ambient occlusion settings, you might want to go down to the mid-range, or you want to just turn it off just to give yourself more GPU performance. And, if you're new to PC and what I'm saying sounds like Greek, my recommendation to you is just go ahead and read what the description for the settings do say. It will tell you what you're going to be spending your GPU power on. Like the ambient occlusion says, it darkens and creases and corners in the game in order to add depth. HBO Plus, developed by NVIDIA, improves visual quality, but does cost extra GPU performance. So already, even if you may have the most powerful GPU, the 2080 Ti, just know that this is most likely going to be eating a little bit of that power if you're not getting the full settings that you desire, if you get what I mean. Level of detail is high. I turned off motion blur because motion blur was, kind of the thing everybody was, joking about. And there is no, when you turn off the motion blur on PC, you won't see them. You will not have any of that nonsense anymore. It really does make the experience better. Shadow quality high, screen space contact shadows, I turned that off. Tessellation is on as well. You can turn that off as well, because if you want to increase your GPU performance, if you see on the settings here, it said tessellation adds more detail to select surfaces by subdividing geometry and applying displacement maps. Disabled to increase GPU performance. Okay, so if you want to increase your GPUs like I would recommend you turn it off. Or if you have, if your budget is like that's not a problem, then leave it on. Particle lights, I left mine on high. If you want to increase your GPU performance, I would say maybe turn that down to medium. Depth of field is something that I really like to be very high, but I'm still working on my settings to see. I really want to see a wide depth of field in this game as I'm going, because my character, I just like the way they traverse, basically laterally on X, Y, and Z. On X and Z axis. It's super cool the way Romanov fights. And then my texture filtering is on 4x. This also, if you lower it, would improve your GPU performance. So I would consider that. And then texture settings also are higher quality texture resolution, but increases the amount of video memory used. The lower quality improves performance on graphic cards with low video memory. So if your GPU has maybe 3 gigs, maybe 2 gigs, maybe even 6 gigs, I would say, kind of watch out for these different things that are eating your GPU memory. Lens flares, if you want to use them, by all means. And then screen effects, you can do whatever you want. It's basically to disable or remove screen effects such as rain and dirt on the camera. I don't think it really affects your GPU performance that much, but I would not be surprised if somebody gains better optimization by turning something like that off. And then for, gameplay, what I noticed was when I first started the game, and I'm just reporting my experience, I had 2 instances where I thought the game crashed. It got stuck. And then eventually the game just kept going the first time, and then the second time it had that problem. And I've actually had some of these same problems since I installed NVIDIA's latest drivers. I've had them in Assassin's Creed, I think Origins on this computer. It's been freezing and then continuing going like that. But the way it did it in Avengers, I felt like it was going to crash, but it didn't crash. I was fine. So what I did was, as I got to one of the boss fights with Taskmaster, I shut down the computer. I shut down the game. I didn't shut down the computer. I shut down my game, and then I restarted it. And since then, I've had free-flowing, beautiful, amazing, amazing gameplay going on. Now, I have also had, other people report that they went full-on crash, and I think that's basically what my system was going through. And performance has also been really super good. That's another thing as well so far since I made that change. And so I'd recommend that you do that if you have any problems. Right now we're having server problems, and then as you're playing the game, you're also going to notice what was going on the console version, which were frame drops in some places where you had a lot of explosions and all that stuff. Now, I was also recording on this computer and I didn't pay attention, and so I had a lot of frame drops. So if you're wanting to make content as a content creator, or if you maybe want to record some footage from your computer, keep that in mind, that might affect your performance. I mean, it's a duh kind of thing. But I got more performance once I stopped the recording on this computer. I'm probably going to record on an auxiliary device externally anyways, so that, all that work is being done, secondarily. And then whenever you had explosions and all that stuff, I did notice a little bit of frame drops, but nothing bad once you're optimized and once you're good to go. So the game is not, the finest of qualities, for PC, but it is good enough in my opinion. I think when we download those texture packs, we might be able to gain a little bit more, I would say pizzazz and polish in all of this. But at the same time, this is decent the way that it is. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you feel like I can improve my, my setup, my settings, let me know in the comment section. If you're having any problems with your device, put the question there in the comment section. I can almost guarantee you that you have somebody that's working alongside you or has a similar build that can help with something. But anyways, always download your drivers, make them up to date. Windows had a driver that came out a few days ago, so check if your Windows drivers are actually up to date as well. Don't ignore them. Sometimes they'll mess with your gaming. And then, do the regular redundant shut it off and turn it back on type deal. And, keep your fingers crossed and be ready to tweet at Square Enix support and tell them you're having any problems that you might be having. And, look around, ask questions on streams, and you might be able to solve or resolve whatever problems you might have. Anyways, that's it for me. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully we'll see you in another one. Stay tuned. Marvel Avengers content will keep coming. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get updates. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified once a video drops, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.